Okay, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I guess I need to figure out my phone storage stuff. All right, so what we were doing is washing out our leaks just to get all the remainder of the dirts out of there. Okay, so we got our leaks. We're just using the white and the sort of, you don't want to get the dark greens because those get really tough to use. So we're just going to cut these in half, cut these up, and we're going to go that route. Okay, so we've got some two leaks to be specific. Cut. Okay, so we should have everything there. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter. Let's go ahead and get that cut off now. And like Luke said, I do agree, everybody's stovetop cooks at different levels. While he might be using medium-high, we would use more medium because ours cooks a little bit hotter. But I can tell you that I'm really jealous of him because he has gas, which is awesome to have instant heat and then instant no heat. That's a really nice feature. For those of you who have ever cooked with gas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a very gas stoves are awesome to cook with. Okay, so we got all of our goop here. Let's get this out of the way. Then basically we're going to throw all this in. We're going to saute it. Then we're going to put some broth in. Then I'll let it cook for about 18 minutes or so. So I don't have one of those cool kettle water cookers that Luke has. So we just kind of get some water going and then we let it slow boil.
Are you making soup stock?
Yeah.
Oh, it said because I just looked up what to do with leaf leaves, and it said you can freeze them and throw them in when you're making soup stock.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's a few more things to do with them.
Okay, there you go. For those of you who are into making your own vegetable stock, because I cheat, little vegetable broth cubes. What my daughter just said is that is something that you can throw in to make your own vegetable stock. And that will add another level of flavor and complexity to it.
It said you freeze it and then you...
Freeze it first?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you freeze it first. I should have some measuring spoons around here somewhere. I'm going to use my daughter's because I don't know where mine are at. Yes, I have my measuring cups and spoons. She has her measuring cups and spoons. Okay. So we're getting all of our stuff set up here. We should be good in just a minute. Our butter is about melted. So we're going to add now to this our carrots, our carrot greens, the leek, We're going to add our rice, our thyme, and our parsley. So everything's going to be added at the same time, and we're just going to saute it for a moment. So let's just start throwing all this in. So we've got our carrot greens. Gotta love that. Our carrots themselves, notice different colors. For those of you who didn't know that carrots could be something other than orange. And again, thank the Dutch for that. It's weird, these random pieces of information that you collect over your life that you remember. Okay, so we're going to saute this, get that kind of going. We're going to add 6 tablespoons from this massive bag right here. I brought it out just because of how ridiculous it is. We got it at Costco, and we do use rice pretty frequently. But we got this from Costco a while ago. Actually, I didn't get this from Costco. I got this one from Indian market that I go to sometimes. Okay, so 6 tablespoons of rice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it appears,
Or 1/4 of one
and
piece.
some of you might already know this because you're like lightning steps ahead of me. Roughly a half a cup equals 6 tablespoons, give or take. So,
It's actually 8 tablespoons that equals a half a cup.
oh, 8 tablespoons. Okay, well, we were going for 6 tablespoons, but I guess with my overheaping tablespoons, we ended up with 8. So we're going to saute that. We're going to add in our thyme and our parsley. We need, based off of our directions here, 1 teaspoon of thyme, because you never have enough thyme. Okay. So roughly 1 teaspoon of thyme. And you're supposed to use 2 teaspoons of parsley that's fresh. And so we're going to equate that to 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. Because I think if I remembered, you're supposed to not use as much dried parsley. I could be wrong. That might actually be just the opposite and you're supposed to use more parsley. But tonight we're just using that because that's what we have. Okay, so we're going to cook this for a couple of minutes. Soupy leek rice. Ooh. My daughter's pulling up recipes that you can use the greens for. Soupy leek rice.
It's on Taste.
Taste. Taste.com.
Tastecooking.com.
Taste cooking. So here's what we've got going right here. We've got our carrot greens, our carrot, our leek, our rice, and our parsley and our thyme. And we're just going to saute this up for a couple of minutes. Sorry. And then we're going to toss in about 6 to 8 cups of vegetable broth and go from there. So it's all pretty fun until somebody gets their eye poked out. Okay, so there's no pressure. Rebel knows who I'm talking to. And I would love to see a homemade meatball cooking video. That would be super cool because that is something that most people don't know how to do. And it also happens to be something that most people absolutely love. There's something about homemade meatballs. So, Rebel, if you get the gumption up, I would love, seriously love, for you to make a video with your homemade meatballs. You can throw in your sausages. You can do whatever you want. I think it would be super cool. So what we're discovering is that this is becoming a family slow cooking channel, not just an Eric, trying to entertain the world because he has nothing better to do at the moment. So, Rebel knows who I'm talking about. I wanted to tell you also that tonight for the dinner, got some Italian bread. When I was at the grocery store, it happened to be $1 a loaf. I couldn't pass it up, and it goes nicely with soup. So, the aromatics in here are starting to smell delightful. Everything's starting to kind of pull together. So we're going to go ahead. I normally don't. I just add the water. Let's see. We've got 1,000 milliliters. So for those of you in Germany, that equals 4 cups. How's America? The only country left that is still using the standards that we use as opposed to the metric system. Not really sure. Okay, so we're going for about 6 cups. Should be good there. Obviously, you can do these broth cubes beforehand, and you could heat the water and you could melt all of them in there. Seems kind of silly to me, so I just drop them in because we're going to bring this to a boil, and all of these are going to get cooked in there. But again, you can do however you want. You could use chicken broth. You could use a whole bunch of different broths. We use vegetable broth. So we're going to break these up and crumble these in there so that they will start getting some good flavor going on. We'll break those up in there. See if I'm even following the directions anymore. Okay. Looks like I am following the directions. I've made this quite a few times, but it's always good to refresh yourself to make sure that what you're doing, you're not leaving out an important step. The one thing that I did not do, which is to add, some salt and pepper to taste. So we're going to go with about a teaspoon somewhere in there for some salt. Yeah, we're going to put in some pepper also.
About 8 tablespoons, according to Levi.
Salt and pepper, get that mixed in here. And then we're just going to let that cook. We're going to bring it to a boil. Once we bring that to a boil, we're going to lower it to a simmer for about 16 to 18 minutes. Well, that's not a very good view.
I'll hold it.
No, I'm not going to make you stand here for the next 18 minutes.
Oh.
That would just be silly. Okay.
I'll do it.
No. Because you figured out how you're going to edit it. So while it's doing its thing, you'll make this magic speed up. Okay, we've got everything in. So we're going to let this do its thing. Going to bring it to a boil and then lower it down to a simmer for about 16-18 minutes. The basic reason that you're doing that is of giving the rice time to cook. But when you think about how long it's taking or how short of amount of time it's taking, not really that big of a deal. So 16 minutes, really all that it is letting the rice cook. So we'll let this do its thing and we will be back.
So,
It's still
can
recording.
you pause it?
No. We're
I'm
gonna.
just gonna tape it right there.
No.
Can I do that?
No. We're not taping it. Our name's not.